welcome back. Mukulike yo okuva Ehoima, Bunyoro Kitara Kingdom, which was the host of the final round of the Uganda National Rally Championship, which went down to the wire. We actually have over three major, or the most common, of course, the overall National Rally Championship, hadn't been decided. We had three drivers who had a chance of winning it in Hoima. We had the Clubman Championship, which was still open between two drivers. We had the two-wheel drive championship, which is hotly contested between three drivers. And then, of course, we also had some division, that hadn't been settled. Nayenga rally yanyumi, obviously, because of this, it's very late in the season, and like I've mentioned, only a handful of people were in with a chance of winning any championship. So of course normally would have 35-40 cars on the start line. This time we had 19 starting the rally. So a much diminished start list. However, there was a lot to fight for. It was really important for those guys, about 7-8 drivers who were in it, still in it. And then, of course, there are those who are just there to just win the rally, win the event, even if it wasn't going to land them a championship. And then you had somebody like Musa Segabe, who not only needed to seal a championship, he also needed to win the rally in order to be able to do that. So it was very, 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 very rally anymio. It was very interesting. By now you already know that it was won by Duncan Mubiru, Chikankane rally team, and Joseph Kamia. This is basically they've won 3 rallies out of 4, the other 4 having been won by Ponciano Rakataka. So during my conversations with Duncan, he was very sad that, or very unhappy that the championship didn't go to either him or Rakataka, and it went to someone else who had actually didn't win any rallies this season. But that's the points scoring system that we have. It doesn't really reward winning, it rewards finishing. Because Musa Segabe didn't win the rally, for him to win the championship, he needed to win the rally and to also win a lot of power stage points. And unfortunately for him, Duncan Bubiru won the rally. Musa Segabe came in second. He put up a spirited fight, Guy Yarwanye, because he took the lead from stage 2 and kept it through the whole of day 1, and then only relinquished it in day 2. But even then, on day 2, he was fighting back, to try and get back into the lead, but it didn't work for 2 reasons. Mainly because to finish fast, he needed to finish fast. First, you have to finish. So he really needed to finish the rally. But not only that, his car, the Evo 9, which is Group N, is really no match for Duncan Mubiru's Ford Fiesta Proto, which is powered by an Evo 10 engine and also has some really advanced technology going for it. So the final position on the podium was won by Daudi Umar. Daudi was also the crowd favorite. He was, for me, the driver of the day. I'm torn. I'm really torn because honestly, I was really impressed by Musa Segabe's performance. But Daudi Umar was very, very exciting. The guy has a vibe. He was on fire. And all the fans. If you ask the people in Bunyoro who don't really care about the stage times, they'll tell you he was their driver. He should have won the rally. So Daudi was very spectacular and also quite fast. So Ronald Sebugzi finished the rally 4th, which was more than what he needed, because I think he needed to finish maybe like 8th, 9th. He could still have won the championship by picking up very few points. But having finished the rally 4th, he then also won his 4th national fourth national rally championship to equal Charlie Lubega and Sam Sally. You know, it has taken him 11 years to get there. It's also a career that spans 25 years to do that. I think Charlie did it in about 4 years actually. 5 years. But yeah, you know, you know, but yeah, he stayed around long enough and he's won it. Fifth in the rally was Samuel Buete and Mildred Chivoka driving a Subaru Impreza N14, and they were also quite fast and quite impressive. And yeah, so let's get into our analysis of this rally. So first of all, you know, we did recce and we found that stages were quite smooth, you know, as you can see, very fast. Roads, you know, some really wide roads, but even the ones which were narrow were quite, you know, they had been freshly graded and were looking really good. So I would say the rally is about 90% smooth and about 10% rough. And where it was rough, it could really catch you out. So the rally was organized over 2 days, and that is Saturday and Sunday, with 3 stages run on the morning of day 1 and a super special to be done in the afternoon. Duncan Mubiru, who was there, you know, to just win the rally, and you know, coming off the back of winning the Gulu rally, that is the CMC Independence Rally in Gulu, you know, came out guns blazing and won the first stage. Yeah, so Duncan won the first stage. Let's see. Just hold on. Try and share the stage times with you here as well. So yeah, Duncan won the first stage in a time of 9 minutes and 46 seconds, 6 seconds faster than Musa Segawe and Matthias Chega in the Evo 9. Coming in third in this stage would have been Joshua Moanguzi, and then Samuel Buete, and then Samuguzi would have come in 5th fastest. So mind you, these stages, when these stages were running, the first 3 stages, they were not part of the first 2 stages were not part of the CRC itinerary, so people like Bebeto and Chivande were not running. Yeah, so Duncan Mubiru strikes first, 9 minutes and 46 seconds, and it goes into a lead with a lead of 6 seconds. And then, yeah, in this stage, Isaac Sozi retired in that stage with engine failure. But I think all the cars, you know, in the 2-wheel drive, it would have been Edward Chirumira who opened the striking. Never mind that it had been delayed a little bit by, well, quite a lot by Henry Maseruka, but I think his time was corrected by the stewards or by the COC. When it came to the second stage, which is the Suma Stadium stage, by the way, the Suma Stadium looks magnificent. The stadium really looks good, and you know, I'm really happy for the people of Hoima and Western Uganda. They're already seeing the, you know, some of the benefits of oil being dug in there, you know, coming out of the region. Very good for them. But yeah, this is a stage which is also very smooth and was won by, surprisingly, by Bobo, you know, Alioma Bobo last year, beating, you know, or no, he didn't win the stage, he was 2nd fastest behind Just Mangat, but it was quite impressive. So this is a stage where now, first time it was run, Duncan at stage 2, Musa Segawe beat Duncan Mubiru by 3 seconds. I think the time was 11:31. 2 seconds. 11:31 versus okay, sorry, I'm getting old. I need to check these things. So yeah, so you basically have Duncan Mubiru. Actually, the difference was just 1 second, and Musa Segawa won the stage in 11:50. Duncan Mubiru posted 11:51, so the difference was just 1 second. At the same time, so basically, Musa Segawa was able to reduce Duncan's lead by 1 second to 5 seconds. But then this stage was repeated immediately after service, and this time the CRC drivers came into the fray to start the itinerary. And this time Musa Segawe won the stage again, but with a margin of 3 seconds. You can imagine how tight and fine these differences are. So at this point in time, Musa was trailing Duncan by, having taken 1 and 3 seconds or so, by 2 seconds. So Duncan will go into a super special stage. Duncan has a lead of 2 seconds after 3 stages. And you can really tell that this was a big statement of intent from Musa Segawe. And then we go into the super special, where we basically we had 2 runs. And this is, when things really went funny, because first of all, it was confusing. Apparently there were 2 road books. Everybody seemed to be reading from a different road book, and as spectators, we couldn't tell who was completing the stage correctly, who was doing it wrong. Turns out even the stewards agreed that in fact the organizers had made a bit of a mess by issuing a new road book to the competitors right at the beginning of the stage. I'll have you know that if competitors haven't had a chance to recce a stage, then that stage shouldn't run. In other words, the change of road book comes, let's say, for safety reasons, then the stage wouldn't run. But I don't know why they had to change the circuit. So this circuit in the Kontiki Hotel is normally either gets wet and it's clay soil, which holds a lot of water and gets really slippery. But luckily this time, while it was overcast, it also managed to basically stay dry and extremely dusty. So apart from the fact that we had the confusion of the road book, now you had the dust, and it was dangerous for the drivers, because at one time I thought 2 cars were actually going to crash into each other. But also it was quite possible for a driver who was doing these donuts to basically do a wide run, leave the track, and probably hit the spectators who were standing, right on the tip on the boundary of the track. So this super special turned out to be a car breaker. A lot of people broke things, but most dramatically, the top stars of the show, the super special, which is the Ford Fiesta drivers, Duncan Mubiru and Ronald Sevuguzi. Both of them broke their transmissions. Specifically, Duncan broke a drive shaft, and Sevuguzi did a little bit more than that. He broke a drive shaft, and then a piece of that shaft got lodged into his transfer, into his transfer unit, and they couldn't take it out. So while Duncan was able to change his drive shaft at the within time, in end of service, for Sevuguzi it really spelled retirement, because unless he was able to change not just the drive shaft, but he also needed to change the transfer unit. He was able to do it, and but then looking at the pictures, it was hair raising, sweaty. You have the drivers getting under the car, and then Mugambo in the boot trying to fix the fuel pump, the diff pump. It was high drama. And then you have so basically on to day 2, and on day 2 we have so because of what happened in the super special, actually, Musa Segawe, who went through pretty much without any problems, goes into the lead, takes a lead of 25 seconds from Duncan. Remember, Duncan had been leading by 2 seconds. But now, because of breaking the drive shaft, now Musa gets an advantage of 25 seconds going into day 2. And yeah, it was on. The battle was on for the, although, yeah. So going into day 2, and Joshua Mwanguzi, who had been driving, he came into the rally driving one of Moyo Rally team's Subaru Impreza GVPs. And he had put in 3rd fastest on the first stage, but then some mechanical glitch. He retired on the 2nd stage, didn't do the 3rd stage on a super special, and he would return for day 2. Unfortunately for him, 300 meters from the start, he would put, the car in the bush. Apparently, came across a big rock, and which knocked out, just crushed the entire wheel, or the entire suspension, and everything there. The tire, the rim, the caliper, and suspension, everything broke. The car looks quite bad, but actually it turns out the car didn't roll over, so the damage isn't that big, but still huge disappointment. So first stage of Sunday morning of day 2, yeah, Duncan wins the stage in a time of 7 minutes and 13 seconds, and a cool 33 seconds quicker than Segawe. So remember, the lead had been 25 seconds. Segawe had a lead of 25 seconds, but now he lost all of it, plus some. So he goes back behind Duncan to be about 8 seconds off the pace. Elsewhere, the CRCs, were also running. So Kevin Bebeto posts a 4th fastest time, while Daudi Umar posts 2nd fastest, actually 5 seconds quicker than Musa Segawe. And then for Kevin Bebeto posts a time of 8 minutes exactly. So he was 4th fastest and 1 second quicker than Sebuguzi, who posts a time of 8 minutes and 1 second, which is right there. So so in the CRC, let me back up a little bit. So for the CRC, when the CRC started on stage 3, when the CRC itinerary started, within 2 kilometers of the start of the Suma stage, Walter Chibande drops the ball. He basically hits a trench near the beginning of the stage, and breaks, I believe, something, maybe a ball joint or something, on the left front side of his car. And whether maybe, I think he tried to repair it because he delayed, and ended up being caught by cars. People like Chirumir had to pass him. But I saw him, by the time he came through me where I was, he actually was driving on a flat tire. So I think he decided to just use the tire that was damaged instead of putting on a new one, since he wasn't able to repair the car. So, but that wasn't the end of it. So he manages to make it through the stage, goes into service, and then on a super special, he does it again. Okay, this time he knocks off the entire front left wheel, comes off completely again, and now, luckily for him, he could still. There was only 3 cars in the CRC. There was Kevin Bebeto, Walter Chibande, Ahmed Katete. Ahmed Katete was the only other driver who could win the championship. But even if Walter Chibande retired and rejoined under Super Rally rules, As long as he finished, he would be third. He would be third, and it wouldn't matter if Ahmed would actually win. So now back onto Sunday and Sunday morning, and I've already told you about Kevin Bebeto's wonderful performance on that stage, where he posts a fourth quickest time. Yeah, Ahmed Katete looked very impressive. Took all the took the rough jump, but I think sometime later on in the stage he might have encountered some issues and had to slow down. So he ended up losing more than a minute to Kevin Bebeto, and basically from then it looked like he wasn't going to be able to win the CRC category for that event and probably should stop trying. So we move on to the second stage of Sunday. It was the longest stage of Sunday, not 22 kilometers. It's also a stage that had been a cause of concern for all the drivers because of the rough somewhere in the middle of the stage. But obviously there had been a fear that if it rains, it might be impassable, especially for the two-wheel drive cars. But the weather remained dry, nice, sunny and bright, and I think all the cars managed to get through. And when they did, Chikankane threw down the hammer. Okay, so this time Chikankane posts a time which is a full minute. He comes in with a time of 15 minutes and 38 seconds, which is a full minute quicker than Musa Segawe, who did a time of 16:38. Ronald Sebugzi was third fastest. Ronald Sebugzi was second fastest, 16:29. While Omar Daudi comes in fourth fastest at 16:50. And Sam Boete consistently fifth fastest, which is where he was sitting. And it is where he finished. So, having taken a minute, so now Duncan was up on Musa by 1 minute and 8 seconds. And of course it looked like it's really over, okay? The margins have been very fine between them, 2 seconds, 1 second on day one. And now here is Duncan taking minutes, okay? But then Musa is nothing if he's not a fighter. He's a serious fighter. So when we go on to stage 8, which was the rehearsal of the power stage, Musa completes the stage in a time of 7 minutes and 30 seconds, which is 27 seconds quicker than Duncan. So it was a lot. Not quite enough to bring back the lead to him, but enough to give Duncan a bit of a scare. So the lead then reduced from 1 minute 8 to about 41 seconds. And and then on the repeat of a power stage, this time Musa seems to be he's really going for broke, but then he leaves the road at some point and only manages to get the car back without totaling it or crashing it, and he finishes the stage in a time of 7 minutes and 50 seconds, which is 20 seconds slower than his time on the first pass through. I would have thought that he would have been able to reduce the time to maybe 7:20 or something. Duncan also reduced his time from 7:57 to 7:44, but this time it was enough for him to win the power stage and the rally with a margin of with a cool margin of 47 seconds. Okay. Omar Dauda finished third. Okay. Omar Dauda finished third. Very, very impressive as well. Ronald Sebugzi finishes fourth. But I already told you about Sebugzi's issues with transmission. So Sebugzi starts day 2 quite easy, taking it easy on the first stage, second stage. And then he starts to ramp up a stage. As you can see on stage 8, he does a time of 7:54. He actually beat Duncan on stage 8. And then I think he was trying to win the power stage. Man, right where I was, he takes a jump and then boom, rear left, backhoes. But luckily the wheel doesn't lift the car and just managed to stay hanging on, and he's able to drive the car without having to stop to do any repairs. And he's able to keep his 4th place, but I'm sure this was a heart in mouth moment for him and and Mugamba, and I don't think Mugamba will forgive him soon for that sort of thing. But so Buzi finishes 4th, while Samuel Buete and Mildred Chivoka finish 5th overall. So in the CRC, Kevin Bebeto finishes 1st, followed by Ahmed Katete, and Walter Chivande, not surprisingly, finishes last, but 3rd overall, 3rd in CRC, and which was more than enough for him to win his Clubman Rally Championship. From, I believe all these 3 drivers should be good enough to go into the NRC in 2026, and we should be excited. For sure, Walter Chivande, who's a champion, who has been driving an impressive GC8, has really been super impressive with that old car. I would like to see him in a new car, but even if he just comes back with that GC8, he will still be doing wonders. His times are really good. Kevin Bebeto is another one. Kevin Bebeto didn't win the championship. He didn't really have much luck on his side. But Kevin Bebeto, just like Musa Segawe, is national class driver. Okay, definitely all year round he's been setting podium top 5 stage times, and I'm sure come next year he might even be setting stage, winning stages. But his N10 again, probably not much for the Protos and R5s. However, there is a small chance that he might be upgrading to an Evo 9. I pray that happens. If that does happen, then the sort of performances we've been seeing from Musa Segawe, I think Kevin Bebeto might be able to go better. When it comes to Musa Segawe, we already know that Musa Segawe is upgrading to an N5 spec car. Is something similar to a Proto. Apparently very new and very powerful, and if he's been able to match Duncan in some stages with the Evo 9, I think we can be guaranteed that Musa Segawe will be winning rallies come next year. So in two-wheel drive, Edward Chirumira somehow dominated. He won, kept on punching in, the stage times, okay? Going fastest on literally every stage, okay? But then apparently he shows up late at one of the stages and under control, and that's it. And he was basically time barred and disqualified from the, removed from the classification. So that's the only reason he didn't win. And so the person who won to drive is Mansour Rubega, who is super quick. Okay, super quick and clean. Mansour Rubega and Ronald Kenya, they won two-wheel drive on the rally, but also then won that two-wheel drive championship, which has been it has been extremely competitive this year. It's been, so between Mansour Rubega, Julius Semambo, Edward Chirumira, those three guys, they came into this rally, each of them with a chance of winning it. However, there is Sam Watendwa who told me he's coming back with a two-wheel drive car, a new car. There is Ibrahim Lubega, who had sort of been part-timing, but he's back, okay? It's hot, it's really hot in two-wheel drive, and let's wait and see, can't wait to see what happens next year. So yeah, that was the end of 2025 season. Congratulations to all our champions, Ronald Sebuzi and Anthony Mugamba, National Rally Champions, Walter Chibande and Duncan Katumba, Clubman Rally Champions, and Mansur Rubega and Ronald Bukenya, our two-wheel drive national champions. Congratulations, guys! All of it well deserved, and thank you for giving us, putting on a good show. And all the other competitors, Daudi Umar, proper vibe, fire, okay, that guy, and Samuel Boyd, the same thing, okay, very 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 nice to watch, that drive, you're driving. So as we take this break, prepare. I think we're going to have a long break. Probably the rallies won't be back until way after the elections. So this is a good time for all the drivers to repair their cars, and some of them probably buy new cars. Maybe one last thing I'll say about hopefully we can get in more proto cars, or maybe even more Rally 2 cars, so that we have a really vibrant top class. So right now, the class that has Sebuguzi, Duncan with the protos, Rakataka can no longer keep up. Okay, he won 4 rallies, but half of them it was just luck. Rakataka, Sebuguzi, Duncan, we need just Mangat, Yasin Nasa, we need more people, John Constable. We need 8 to 10 cars in the proto class, and the Sina Center, I won't be one of those 10. So yeah, see you in the next one.